Okay, good morning. Today is a beautiful day here in Scotland. I hope you guys are all doing super well. Today we're going to be talking about the new, just released DJI FPV drone, DJI's first ever FPV drone. So before we get into this video, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's go. Woo! So last night DJI revealed their brand new first kind of step into the FPV world. So here's some actual footage from the ad that DJI released. Their ad that they released is absolutely insane. Their editing, their shots, it's just, I mean, it's an advert that you want to watch, which is so rare. So for anyone that doesn't really know the difference between FPV and normal drone, is normal drones tend to take really stabilized, centered, smooth videos. Whereas FPV are kind of like everywhere, tons of action, tons of excitement, really keeps the viewer entertained. It's really exciting and adventurous. There doesn't really tend to be any gimbals on this, and pretty much all FPV drones tend to be built by the person that is flying them, or by somebody else who has been commissioned to do so. So basically all FPV drones before this point have been built, soldered, basically a motherboard with propellers and motors. So this is DJI's new drone. As you can see, it is pretty well built and doesn't look homemade. Their main aim for this new drone is for other people to try with these drones, the FPV, get into the FPV world, and hopefully continue on with their line of drones as such, so they can get more advanced and better ones. With DJI releasing a pre-built drone, it means people can get into FPV super easy, and there's tons of modes on their drones that helps you get into it. You can get beginner modes and also different types for advanced people with FPV. So it's anyone can use this drone, which is brilliant. So with most FPV drones, there tends to be a GoPro mounted on top of the front along with an FPV camera, whereas the new DJI one records with the same camera. It does the feedback to the goggles. So this camera records in 4K 60 frames per second, which is incredible for a drone built-in camera, especially one on an FPV. It does have a gimbal. Unlike most other FPV drones, it has a single axis gimbal. My Mavic Mini, it has a gimbal going like that, and that's tilt, which is on the new drone, but this one also has back, forth, side to side, and one that goes like this. The whole point of FPV, however, is to get that unsmooth shot, where it's still smooth but not gimbalized and almost artificial. So the starting price for this drone is £1,200, which is about the equivalent to $1,300. For a drone, that's quite expensive, but specifically for FPV, where it comes with the goggles, controller, and everything for a kit, that is really not too bad for FPV, but it's still a lot of money for someone to go into it. With this, you get a lot of bang for your buck though. The specs on this are pretty good, not the same to race drones, but still very good. For example, the acceleration on this is 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 2 seconds. That's insanely fast. The max speed on this is 140 kilometers an hour, which is just beyond anything any of these consumer drones can do. It can also go up 6,000 meters in the air, and it has a max distance of 10 kilometers, which is pretty good as well for a drone. The good thing about this drone by DJI is because it's for beginners and also for advanced users, it does have sensors for some obstacle avoidance. For example, it has the forward-facing sensors and the downward-facing sensors to help you avoid stuff. In the box, when you get your new drone, you get the actual drone itself, the battery, the charger. You also get a controller and the new version 2 FPV goggles DJI already released a few months ago. DJI FPV goggles were DJI's kind of first step into the FPV realm, and this new drone that they released last night is their first proper drone to actually go with the FPV market. So with all these features that you get, it does weigh a little bit more than the average FPV setup, where it is coming in at 795 grams. This with the battery weighs 250, but it was designed to be as light as possible. Another insanely good fact with the new DJI FPV drone is the battery life. It is better than pretty much any FPV drone I can find out there, with a 20-minute flying time, battery life, and a 16-minute hovering time. That is going at 40 kilometers an hour in good conditions, but it's still way more than anything I can find. So for recording, you can put in an SD card of up to 256 gigabytes, which is pretty decent, especially if you're wanting to film at that 4K 60 FPS. So one of the great features with the new FPV drone from DJI is that it has all of these different modes. For example, it has M mode, which is for advanced users, people that know how to use FPV drones, that just want all safety regard things off and just go for know exactly what they're flying and what their style is. There's also N mode, which is great for beginners. It has the obstacle avoidance, the speed limiters, the return to home and everything. It is really, really good. That is another mode that has for beginners that don't know how to use FPV. There's also sports mode, which just kinda is the mix in between the two. Another mode that DJI have come out with is this mode where you can turn your FPV drone into something more like this. So although it doesn't have the stabilization and the gimbals, it is able to fly and get some smooth shots similar to one of these consumer drones for getting cinematic footage. I think DJI did a great step here because it means people don't have to carry around two sets of drones. They can carry around that one, and eventually when they come up with the new model and the gimbal system gets better, eventually people can just integrate the two drones and use them together. Just have one drone that they have to carry about that they can use for all of their shoots. I haven't really flown FPV that much. I think of myself as an okay drone pilot. I've done a few commercial shoots and lots for my YouTube channel, but I would love to get maybe the new DJI drone, try it out and maybe do a full in-depth review on this channel. Please do comment down below if you think that's a good idea. Also, the new remote that it comes with is a redesigned one, kind of looks more like an Xbox or PS4 controller as opposed to the kind of traditional in-phone mounted system. As well, with the linking the controller to the drone, it's the new OcuSync 3.0 that they've been using on their new Mavic 2s and such other drones. That is the new specs in the 2021 new FPV drone from DJI. If you liked the video, please do remember to press that big red button for subscribing to my channel, like button, comment, share with anyone you know, all of your friends and everything, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, bye!